right, get the opening statement from coach and then take questions. So raise your hands, please.
So we're got a couple wins going here in a row. We scored 100 points or more back to back. You know, I feel like our offense is back, looking like it's supposed to look, not like it did against Ole Miss, but defensively not particularly happy with second half performance last game. So we've been challenging our guys. You know, I don't think you can play hard for 40 minutes in a game if you don't practice hard every possession practice. So that's what we've been challenging our guys with. And look, here's the deal. LSU's only won one game in conference, but they've got talent. Cam Carter, if you look at SEC only games, is fourth in the league in scoring. They've got other guys that are certainly capable of scoring. They've got some young freshmen that are getting better as the year goes on. You know, Miller, both Millers, Givens, Corey Chest. And they've got some veteran guys in the backcourt that can definitely score the ball. So we've done the deal where we've overlooked the team a little bit. Now Ole Miss, I have no idea why we've overlooked them. They were undefeated at the time we played them, but I think we did. So, you know, we're going to have to see how mature we are to see what kind of effort we bring for the entire 40 minutes tomorrow. And that's, you know, what I'm most curious to see. So, I mean, you can't go through it. LSU's capable of beating us at home. I mean, they've out-rebounded teams frequently enough. We've had an issue with some rebounding at times this year. You know, they've gotten to the free throw line. I think they're 10-0 when they've shot more free throws than their opponents. Like, we got to be able to guard without fouling. We've had an issue with that. So some stuff we've had issues with, they do well. So we're gonna have to come out. Our transition D's got to be better. You know, and then our turnovers, we got to make sure we're taking care of the ball and getting quality shots up. So I'm very curious to see whether we got enough leadership to play 40 minutes on the defensive end tomorrow or not.
Start with Charlie.
Hey, Coach, back on Hey, Coach, you said the worst case scenario, Derrion will probably be back tomorrow. Is that still the case with him?
You know what? He's still not full go in practice. It's one of those deals where we thought he'd be back a little quicker, and then as the injury goes on, we're not going to push it to where he's not out. So I don't know. We play at night tomorrow, so I think he'll get a workout in tomorrow morning, see how he feels. But he's not a for sure. He's not in. I think he'll probably be listed as questionable, would be my guess.
Cody.
Tonight.
Sorry, Coach. Cody.
After the last few games, a couple of your players have noted just working in the gym with Coach Murphy. I was wondering if you could elaborate on your guys' working relationship and just what he's meant to the program the last couple of years.
Yeah, so Preston's, I think, best assistant in the country when you put the whole thing together, recruiting, player relationships, player development. So, I mean, I was in the gym last night, late afternoon, early evening. You know, we had lots of guys in here working. You had CY, and Holloway, and Sears in here shooting. It's been that way for most days, and those guys get after it. They're getting a lot of skill development in outside of practice with them, and they're having shooting contests, and he's putting them through, game-like shots. And I like it. The three of them can all really shoot. Apparently, CY ended up being a better shooter yesterday, but I think that kind of rotates through. Sears kind of dominated the competition a few days before that. From I always get feedback on who the best shooter of those three were each day, but Preston kind of talks a lot of trash, gets the energy going, makes sure they're he's a pretty good shooter himself. He always CY was the second best shooter in the gym yesterday after he won the shooting contest with those three. But his energy's great. I've known him since he recruited me when I was a high school coach at Romulus. He's from Saginaw, so he came back to Michigan to recruit a lot. He was at Rhode Island where he played. Obviously a really good player. Back in the day, they made an Elite Eight. He played with some NBA guys there at Rhode Island. But I thought he was the best recruiter that came through my gym. Coach McDermott at Creighton at the time asked me who the best recruiter I had come through. Jim was, I gave him his name. Mac went and hired him. Stayed in touch with Preston the whole time, and when I had the opportunity to get him on staff here, I jumped at it, and he's been great ever since we've gotten him here in all areas.
Tony?
With it being in the stretch run of the second half, have you made a decision on Houston, or has there been a decision made?
Not 100%, but we're leaning towards keeping him on the red shirt. Just look, I think what's right by him, if his knees don't get to 100% here really quick, and we're going to be at halfway point of conference play in a week from tomorrow. Halfway point's done. So, for him only to play half the conference games would be, I don't know if that's fair to him, to be honest with you. Now, it's going to be a conversation we have with him when it gets here probably halfway through where how are your knees feeling? Can they? Because if you bring him back, it's got to be your knees are going to 100% be healthy, and you can forego as many minutes as you deserve to play the rest of the year in all the games. If you can't do that with his knees, I just don't think it'd be the right decision. Because we can continue to get him on the rehab program he's been on. He's come a long ways. He couldn't even practice all summer. We got here, and they were so bad he literally sat out the entire summer after when he was here all summer, and then was gradually getting built in the fall, and then you come back and there's a little setback, but he's got to get him right. So my guess would be we're leaning more towards keeping him on the red shirt though.
Jack?
You talked about wanting to see more of that leadership and kind of maturity, especially for some of the veterans again after Vandy. Just what have you seen from this past few days in terms of who's maybe guys that have stepped up and led?
So, once a week we're able to practice hard with the way the schedule goes. You play every Saturday, and you either play Tuesday or Wednesday. So the weeks that we play Wednesday, our hard practice is Monday after Sunday off. The weeks we play Tuesday, we go hard Thursday. So this week it was Thursday. I thought it was one of our better practices we've had all year from everybody. I thought, CY is going to go hard. That's who he is. I thought Sears went really hard in practice. I thought some of our young guys, CY and OD, were going at it in practice pretty good. I didn't think anybody had a bad practice. Today, day before a game, we go a little shorter, a little lighter, make sure they're fresh for the game tomorrow. But I thought there was still some good intensity. But, I thought Thursday's practice was one of the better ones we've had all year. So if we can come out and play for 40 minutes like we practiced for the entire time on Thursday, I think we'll be in good shape tomorrow.
Blake?
Yeah, Coach, we saw Aden Sherrell get some extended playing time the other day. What have you seen from him as far as his growth, and what do you think kind of his potential could be?
I think he's been great. I thought he was one of our best players in practice today. I think he's a guy that he had some knee issues too. We've been trying to rehab him, get him fresh, and we're near as bad as Houston's. But he's fought some injuries, kind of learning the system. Was out for a long time in the fall, missed a bunch, had to get back in shape. With big guys, it takes a little bit longer. So and he's our biggest guy. He's the tallest guy. Weighs the most. So he a little bit longer to get in playing shape, especially at the pace we play. But he's coming. He's figuring it out. He's super smart. Knows the scouting reports, knows the plays, knows he's a quiet kid, but he's starting to speak up a little bit more. He knows what we're supposed to be doing. He can direct guys, and his energy's getting better and better. So hopefully we can keep playing him some more minutes. I thought he was pretty good in his minutes the other night.
Hunter?
You touched on it in the opening statement a little bit, but what have you really kind of seen from LSU for you to not really overlook them?
Yeah, so they've been in some games. They obviously beat Arkansas, and Arkansas just had a good win. They Cam Carter can really score it. You've got to be concerned with him. They have real rim protection with Damian Collins at the rim, and if you don't make the correct rim reads, you go and get shot punched because you're not being focused, playing the correct way. All of a sudden, they've got transition out the other way, so they're capable of scoring the ball if we don't guard. And if we don't take care of the ball and turn it over, now all of a sudden you get yourself a problem. So, you know, I hope that our guys are taking these guys seriously. Obviously, we're going to be the better team going in, what everybody's going to think, but that doesn't really matter. Like, I mean, how many times you watch college basketball, this team's supposed to win, they got more wins, their better records, better, and if you don't come to play, then none of that matters. So, I hope we're mature enough with enough seniors and our leadership's good enough to know that these guys are more than capable of scoring it. They've got a lot of scorers on the floor. And if we don't take care of the ball and make the scoring real easy for them scoring off our turnovers, like we've got a problem. And we've had defensive issues at points this year. We have yet to put a whole 40 minutes of defense together, in my opinion. And we for sure haven't put 40 minutes of defense in the same game we've taken care of the ball. So I'd like to see that one time. That'd be outstanding for us.
So much of their offense goes through Carter. Just what do you do to stop him, and who do you think, you know, you have to do that?
I mean, you know, obviously we've had some issues with really good guards. Not that long ago, Phelps destroyed us. You know, we've also done pretty good with some good guards, depending on whether we as coaches get the right matchups or the guys that we think are the right matchups actually come ready to play. So, you know, I think we can try different combinations on them. You know, I think having size on them like we've done in the past is one good one. LeBaron's been able to move pretty well and guard some of these quicker guards well. But then best matchup on Phelps was Youngblood, who's not our quickest guard, but he was locked on the scouting report better than everybody else. Did a pretty good job. He's physical. You can't really bully him at all. So, you know, we do have different options. We've got I'll tell you one guy his defense coming along, he's been playing pretty well, a lot better than he was at the beginning of the year, is Holloway. And I think it's no coincidence that the harder he plays on defense, the better his defense is, the more he's locked in, the more we can keep him in the game, the better his offense ends up being. Because when you just lose yourself in the right mindset, the right frame of mind, getting stops, guarding, I think your offense follows, and I think that's what's going on with him right now. And he's been playing his best basketball of his career. He's leading the SEC in field goal percentage right now. I don't know how many 6-foot guards have led the SEC in field goal percentage here lately, but it's not many. So, and I think his defense is markedly improved, and I think those two go hand in hand.
Johnny?
You talked about trying to cut down on turnovers after Ole Miss. From a pace standpoint that you guys play at, how do you practice decision making and trying to cut down on them when you're in the gym?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, it starts with our skill work in the summer when we get these guys. We do a lot of advantage basketball drills where maybe guys on the hip beat them, because I feel like we're going to be able to create an advantage frequently. So then are we able to play off the advantage and make those quick decisions? You know, we've got a 0.5 rule where once the advantage is created, you only have a half a second to make your next decision. It's either got to be a shot, one more, or a go catch. Can you play off those? So we put the guys in those situations where the advantage is already created, and we do them all summer long. So you got to make those reads time after time, thousands of reps, all summer long. So now, when you get in these practices, we you know, obviously, the day before you can't practice for 2.5 hours, so you can't get the whole. You know, in the summer we're not putting defensive scouts in and all that going, so we can really focus on a lot of decision making all summer and fall. But you know, as you get to the season, you put your defense in, you got to put scouting reports in, and you can't practice for, you know, I think I practice, say, it's scheduled for an hour and 20 minutes. Like, it's hard to do a lot of those drills, but you're trying to reference back to all those decisions just as they come up in the fly in a 5-on-5. You know, lately, for the last few weeks, guy has a certain type of casual turnover, a couple different things we've labeled that we're just not going to accept. You know, just out of practice, go to the bike, get on the bike, got to give us Henry, our strength coach, make sure they give whatever calories or I don't know what he's got, but they have to go pretty hard on the bike for a short amount of time, and then they can get back and practice. So there's got to be some in the moment consequence for dumb turnovers, which we're just done tolerating dumb turnovers. And so go back to our decision making drills all summer and fall. You know, on Thursday when we do have longer time to practice because we didn't practice the day before and we don't have a game the next day, can mix a little bit more of that stuff in. But turnovers have been coming down, offense has been going up. It's crazy how that works. If you actually get a shot on goal, more likely to have better offense. So, you know, hopefully we can keep the turnovers down.
Anyone else? Thanks, Coach.